Kyle Richards saw Morgan Wade's announcement, the one that genuinely caught the entertainment world off guard, the one that signals Morgan is stepping out of the shadow of the Rob storyline and into an entirely different universe, and responded with 2 words and a rocket emoji. And somehow, in the way that only deeply complicated relationships can communicate through the thinnest possible surface, those 2 words felt like they contained an entire novel. Let's talk about what's actually happening here. Because this is one of those moments that looks simple on the outside and is anything but. Morgan Wade just announced that she has been cast in Dutton Ranch, the Yellowstone spin-off that has already generated enormous anticipation. She will play Carol, a bartender in Rio Paloma, Texas, described as someone who sees everything. Which is, when you think about it, an almost eerily fitting role for a woman who has spent the last couple of years being watched by millions of people, dissected and theorized about, her every public move analyzed for clues about what was really going on between her and a Real Housewives OG. A woman who sees all. In a bar. Where people come to unwind and confess things. I don't know who cast her, but the symbolism is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Morgan's announcement was clean and genuine. Proud to be part of it. Grateful for the opportunity. Can't wait for y'all to see. No drama, no shade, no subtext visible to the naked eye. Just a musician-turned-actress stepping into a major television universe with the kind of quiet confidence that suggests she has been waiting for exactly this kind of pivot. And the response from her fanbase was immediate and warm. Pure excitement. The kind of uncomplicated joy that comes when someone you've been rooting for gets a win that has nothing to do with anyone else's storyline. Just hers. Just Morgan, landing something real and significant on her own terms. But then Kyle commented, "And now we're here." Here's what I want to unpack about that booked and busy response, because I think it's genuinely worth examining. On one level, it reads as supportive. Enthusiastic even. Kyle showing up in Morgan's comments to celebrate a milestone, that's not nothing. It signals that whatever the current state of their relationship is, Kyle still considers herself someone with standing to publicly cheer Morgan on. She's not lurking silently. She's not conspicuously absent. She's right there in the comments, 2 words and a rocket, visible to everyone who goes looking. But there's also something about the brevity that catches my attention. Because Kyle Richards is not a woman who struggles to find words when she wants to say something meaningful. She has sat in confessionals and at reunion tables and across from Andy Cohen and delivered entire emotional monologues about friendship and loyalty and the complexity of her personal life. She is not at a loss for language when she wants to connect. So 2 words, enthusiastic, breezy, quickly moving on, that's a choice. What does it mean that she didn't write more? Some viewers have started wondering whether the lightness of the comment is its own kind of signal. Whether booked and busy is the response of someone who is genuinely happy from a safe emotional distance, rather than the response of someone who is still deeply tangled in what this person means to them. It almost reads like the comment you'd leave for an acquaintance you admire rather than someone who changed your life. And according to what Kyle has said on camera, including essentially acknowledging on season 15 of Rob that there were deep feelings involved in whatever she and Morgan shared, Morgan Wade absolutely changed her life. So which is it? Healthy distance or performed cheerfulness? Genuine peace or carefully managed public image? With Kyle Richards in 2025, the line between those things has become nearly impossible to locate. Let's back up for a second and remember the full arc of this story, because it's easy to lose the thread when you're living inside it week by week. Kyle and Morgan's friendship emerged publicly right around the time Kyle and Mauricio's marriage began visibly unraveling. Morgan was credited with being a significant part of Kyle's sobriety journey, not a small thing. Not a cameo in someone's life. A person who holds that kind of role in your recovery is someone you are bound to in a specific and profound way that exists outside the usual categories of friendship or romance. That bond has its own weight, its own intimacy, its own particular kind of vulnerability. And that context matters enormously when you try to understand what Morgan stepping away from the Rob adjacency actually means. Because she didn't just distance herself from a television show. She seems to have made a deliberate choice to step out of a very specific spotlight, the one that had been trained on her relationship with Kyle, and redirect her career energy somewhere that is entirely her own. Dutton Ranch is not a Bravo production. It has nothing to do with Beverly Hills or reunions or confessionals or any of the machinery that turned Morgan Wade into a tabloid fixture for the better part of 2 years. It's a massive prestige TV universe with its own enormous built-in audience, and Morgan is walking into it as an actor on her own merit. That is a significant repositioning. Whether it was consciously strategic or simply the next exciting opportunity that came along, the effect is the same. Morgan is building something that belongs entirely to her. And people are genuinely thrilled about it. The fan comments on her announcement were effusive in a way that felt personal, like her followers had been quietly hoping she'd find a lane that gave her more room to breathe. There's something in that collective response worth noticing. The people who have followed Morgan through the music career and through everything that came with the Kyle Richards chapter of her public life, they seem relieved. Like they wanted this for her. That's a different energy than the excitement that surrounds most casting announcements. It wasn't just, "Congratulations, how fun." It was something closer to, finally, something that is just yours. Now here's the question that's been simmering underneath all of this, and I can't be the only one thinking it. Morgan's role is a bartender who sees everything. Kyle Richards has an acting background. The Yellowstone universe is expanding. And these two women are still, by all visible evidence, in some kind of orbit around each other, liking each other's posts, commenting, maintaining the digital thread of a connection that neither of them has fully defined publicly. Some people online have already started speculating about whether Kyle could end up with some kind of appearance in Dutton Ranch. Whether the connection between them might eventually cross over into this new professional territory. It's early and it's speculative, and I want to be clear that nothing has been announced or suggested officially. But the Bravo fanbase has a long memory and a pattern recognition instinct that is honestly impressive, and the thought is out there now, floating. What I find more interesting than the casting speculation, though, is what Morgan's pivot says about the chapter she's closing. Because stepping into a Yellowstone spin-off, with all the creative distance from Bravo that it implies, feels like a woman who has made peace with something and decided to move forward. She's not performing that peace. She's not making statements about it. She's just doing it, booking a role, announcing a festival appearance, building a career that has nothing to apologize for and nothing to explain. There's a quiet power in that, in not making it a whole thing. And Kyle, for her part, is navigating the end of season 15 with her own set of complications. A major friendship that's reportedly fracturing on camera, the still unresolved status of her marriage to Mauricio, the ongoing management of a public persona that has been under an unusual amount of scrutiny even by housewives' standards. She is, by all accounts, in a genuinely complicated place personally. So when she shows up in Morgan's comments with two bright and breezy words, it raises the question of what she's actually feeling underneath the cheerfulness. Is she proud? Almost certainly. Is she happy for Morgan in the uncomplicated way the comment implies? Maybe. Is there something more textured underneath, something like wistfulness, or the particular bittersweetness of watching someone you were once very close to move confidently into a future that doesn't include you as a central character? That part nobody can know. Kyle hasn't said it. She may never say it. But the comment is there. 2 words. A rocket. And 1,000 things unsaid beneath them. Morgan Wade is walking into a new chapter, one with horses and Texas sunsets and a character who sees everything and says nothing until the moment she says exactly the right thing. It suits her, honestly. And wherever she and Kyle stand now, whatever that relationship has become in the quieter spaces off camera, this moment belongs to Morgan. Tell me what you think. Are you watching Dutton Ranch when it drops? And do you think we'll see Kyle make a cameo in that universe eventually? Or is this Morgan's world now, completely separate? Leave it in the comments. I want all your theories on this one.